Testing. Testing. What is today? March the... What's the date?
Oh, 21st.
Okay, March 21st, 1983. Let's see what Earnest Leroy Ferguson can tell us about himself. Tell us when and where you were born and who your parents were, please, sir.
I was born right north of Nelson, on the hill, on February the 2nd, 1900.
Who were your parents?
My father was Fred Ferguson. My mother was Laura Herrick.
Herrick, H-E-R-R-I-C-K?
Yes.
Where was Fred from?
He was from Wisconsin. He come here with his mother and two sisters in the covered wagon.
What were her sisters? What was his sisters' names?
Lizzie and Ida.
Lizzie and Nida?
Ida.
Ida. What happened to his father? He said he came with his mother. What happened to his father?
He was just an old man. He died of old age.
But he died back in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Okay. Was his wife a second wife?
Yes.
Did Fred and his mother and two sisters travel by themselves in the covered wagon, or were they with a train?
They come by themselves.
It seemed like I remember you telling me once of a story of an incident that happened on the way where there was some man that got involved with some Indians that was with, then Fred was about 12, 13 years of age at the time.
That was his father.
Oh, his father told that story.
His father was on the gold trail, the big gold rush.
What was his father's name? Fred's father's name?
I don't know.
What happened on this gold trail trip?
Well, of course, they had to contend with the Indians at that time. It's way back there. And there's one bad incident that happened. There's always a liquor was always with them, seemed like. One fellow got up in the morning, he started drinking early, and he says the first, what is it they used to call an Indian woman?
Squaw?
Yeah, first squaw I see her, I'm going to kill her. And they said, no, don't do it, don't do it. If you do, we'll just, when they come around us to get us, we'll just turn you over. Well, he done it anyway. And so then they hadn't got very far, and here come the Indians. They said, if they turn the guy over to them, they let the rest of us go. So they did, and they just took him right out there in plain sight and skinned him alive.
Ugh.
That was the worst part of it.
And Fred's father remembers seeing that.
Yes.
Where did that story take place? Do you know where they were?
Well, on the trail, on an Oregon trail.
Oregon Trail somewhere? You know what state?
No.
Any idea where it was now? What did Fred and his mother do for a living when they got here to Nebraska?
Well, first he started helping on the farm, then he rented the farm north of Nelson.
Did his mother ever remarry?
No.
Do you remember her?
No.
Who did Fred marry now? Laura Herrick.
Laura Herrick.
Right.
She lived in the neighborhood where he started farming, and then her folks moved to Missouri, and then she come back and married my dad.
All right, your dad was what they call Pennsylvania Dutch.
No.
Right? No?
No, he's Scott-Irish.
He was Scott, okay. And Laura, what was she?
Well, she was English.
English and Scott-Irish. Okay. After, Fred and Laura were married, then you were their only child.
Yes, I was born at this date that I give it. and that was in February. And in March, they moved over by Oak, northeast of Oak. And that's where my mother developed typhoid fever. And she seemed to be coming out of it real well, is what I was told. And at that time, there's lots of typhoid fever around in the country. And she either done too much or she ate something, because typhoid fever rots the bowel. And she died.
How old were you?
18 months.
What did Fred do with you?
He took me, well, first, I guess my grandmother was still alive, but she died right shortly after my mother died. So then he put me in a private home.
What were the people's names?
Baker, Elmer, Baker.
And you lived with them until your father remarried.
Yes, I did.
Do you remember the Bakers?
Yes.
What were they like?
They were United Brethren church people.
Was your father a religious man?
He joined church one time, but his sisters were very much against the religion. And his sister mocked him so much when he see him sitting around reading the Bible, one thing and another, he just kind of fell away.
You talking about the Church of the Brethren or Church of Christ?
No, United Brethren.
United Brethren, I mean. I remember you telling me a story that as a little boy you heard Mrs. Baker make a comment one time and you took a personal insult out of it. You want to tell me that again?
That was bad. I overheard her say that if Fred Ferguson didn't get his rent paid on the boys, she's going to kick him out.
Do you think she really meant it, or was she just, sometimes people say things and they don't mean it and little boys misunderstand?
Well, I took it seriously.
You took it seriously, right. Right. So you thought she didn't love you, and you thought, and in the meantime, you really appreciated her, and that hurt your feelings.
Yes.
Did you ever get to tell her what she'd said?
I never would.
Yeah.
But after my dad got married again, she'd come out and want to hug and kiss me, and I'd pull away from her.
Yeah. Goes to show you how sometimes we say things and don't realize that little kids can misunderstand what we're saying. Okay, your father got married when you were how old?
About 5.
And who was this lady? What was her name?
She was, now you want me to go back and tell who her maiden name was?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Her maiden name was Flocky, F-L-O-C-K-E.
Okay, and her first name was?
Emma.
Emma Flocky. Now, she had 2 children herself.
She married a man that had 3 children. And then she had one child from
Fred.
My dad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she always took her as my stepsister. She was just 2 years younger than I. And we were just like brother and sister.
Okay, that was Lily.
Lily.
Lily was your stepsister, but
Yeah.
she was close to you in age, and you were always good friends.
Yeah.
Now, you said she had 3 other children?
The stepmother did.
Mm-hmm. What were their names?
They're Erickson.
They had the last name of Erickson.
Yeah.
What were their first names?
One boy was named Gifford, Jimmy, and
Well, that's all right. Okay, now you have some half.
well,
brothers.
then my father and stepmother,
Right, they had some more children.
they had 6 children.
Right. What were all their names now?
Well, there was Alta was the oldest, Selma, Frank, Lester, Bill,
Mhm.
Dorothy.
Right. Where are all these children now? Where are the Erickson children? The three boys that she
I
had.
think they're all dead, but the girl, and then
It was a girl.
with the family of 8, then with my stepsister and I, and then they had 6 kids. Out of the 6 kids, it's just or 8 kids. There's just 3 of us left, and I'm the oldest.
Who are the other two?
Bill and Dorothy.
Okay, Bill and Dorothy. Bill's the one that had the grocery store in Oak.
Yes,
And where's Dorothy?
she's in California.
Okay, tell me some of this. You and Lily, like you said, were good friends. Can you tell me some stories or some things that y'all used to do some things you remember doing that were fun with Lily?
Well, like coasting downhill, and Lily would always stick up for me. Yeah, my mother, my stepmother, she never showed much affection towards me. But Lily, in all her games and everything, she would always stick up for me.
I remember you said they made a comment one time about the two of you when you were about teenagers, and you were rather insulted. Or somebody did. Since you two were such good friends that you ought to do.
Oh, my father one time, as we got older, and we were just young people, he mentioned that it'd be all right for he would sanction that we get married because they knew each other and there was no relation.
Yeah.
But
that was ridiculous. Tell us how you met your wife.
Met my wife.
Glada.
Mm-hmm.
How did you meet her?
Well, I was hauling bundles in the thrashing season. And we had supper and was coming home late. And Lily, my stepsister, had asked Glada to come home with her that evening.
How did Lily get to meet Glada?
Well, they both worked in a restaurant in Oak, one in one restaurant and the other the other. And when they had their spare time, why they just got together.
Now, okay, tell me what you first thought of Glada when you first saw her. What did she look like?
Oh, we just first, her and Lily come up to meet me that night, and they'd got up the road about a half mile when they met me, so it's quite a little ways yet to go. And so I had to help them up in the hay rack, and of course, I had met her, and Lily introduced me to her, and we got singing songs on the way, the rest of the way.
What color dress was she wearing?
Well, that ain't the trick.
You don't remember that?
Not that night, but then a week or so later, she come out to our place for dinner on Sunday, and she had a pretty blue dress on, and that's what topped it all. And I thought I wanted to date her, and I started dating her and married her.
How old were you when you met?
I was about 18.
She was how old?
She was 2 years younger than I.
Okay, she was 16. How old were you when you got married?
She was 19, I was 21.
Okay, so you knew each other a while before you did get married. Now, okay, Grandma was Glada Dale Schaefer, and she grew up in Ruskin.
Yes.
Now, she finished high school. That was rather unusual in those days, wasn't it?
Yes, and then she taught school.
Okay, now you yourself finished through just the 8th grade.
I just didn't get my diploma because I liked one subject, but Dad said, well, he couldn't send me on to school.
The diploma for the 8th grade.
Yeah, and So he said, it's a season of plowing for oats, and so he said, you just might as well give it up.
Yeah, right. All right, now Gladys folks, her parents' names were?
Dave Schaefer.
And her mother? What was her mother's name?
Laura.
Okay.
No, Alice.
Alice, that's right. Now, they were farmers also.
Well, they had been farmers, but they was working for Lot Walls at Ruskin at the time they was living in Ruskin.
Where did they come from? Had they always lived in Nebraska? Or did
No, they came from Ohio.
Okay, they came from Ohio. Dave Schaefer did. I remember him with a mustache and playing the harmonica.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now they were Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah, part of them were, yeah, they were Pennsylvania descendants.
Right, right. Do you remember all of the names of all of Gladys' brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Okay, what were they?
Carl, Ward, and Farrell.
Now,
And the mother had lost her sister in there.
okay, there's another girl,
Mm-hmm.
but she died as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Carl was crippled, handicapped, wasn't he?
Yes.
What was his problem?
He had spinal meningitis when he was a little boy.
Could he walk?
He could walk, and he got so he could walk with crutches, and he could even harness a horse. And he done a lot of things. It was, you might say, it was almost impossible for a crippled anybody.
Did he get around with crutches then?
Yes.
But he died as a young man.
Yes, he had went back to visit some of the people in Ohio, and he come back, and he caught during the bad flu season, and he caught the flu and died.
Do you remember what year that was?
Oh, I don't.
Did you know him then?
Oh, yes, he even worked for me.
Okay, you and Glada were married, and he died after y'all were married?
Yes.
Okay. I see. You all were married in what year?
We was married in 21.
1921, yeah. Okay. Now, my mother was born, Alice Laurel, named after both of her grandmothers, was your first child, and she was born in 1921, not 22?
22.
Yeah, right. Tell us about her birth. She was real tiny.
Yes, she was I was working for after I got married, my father had died in the summer before, so I was working for my stepmother, and so she was going to have the baby over to her mother, Nebraska, and so I got a call about 4 o'clock in one morning, and for me to come on over, that the baby was on the way. And I got so excited, I took the car and I made the record between Oak and Ruskin.
What kind of car were you driving?
Oakland.
Oakland?
Oakland.
Huh.
And but Alice wasn't born until in the afternoon.
No,
so.
he had a long wait.
Yeah.
Okay, she was so tiny, and of course they didn't have incubators or anything like that, so what did they do with her?
Well, just as soon as she was born, her mother just took her right over. They had the old-fashioned stove with the oven, open up door, and she wood burning. So she just took her right over next to the oven where the heat comes out, where it was good and warm, and rubbed her.
Something about they put her in a shoebox or something.
Well, they done that's just they done that for show.
Oh, show how tiny she was.
She only weighed 4 pounds.
4 pounds, yeah. I want to back up because I remember something about you telling a story on yourself once about when you were little. something about you were supposed to carry some money from one place to another. It was around
Yes.
Christmas time, and tell
Yes.
that again.
That's
How old were
kinda-
you, first of all,
Then?
in this story? Yeah.
Well, I wasn't old enough to go to school yet.
Okay.
But there was a family that lived about a block from them, a little better. They was gathering the money for Christmas donations. And so Grandma Baker had gathered some, and this neighbor that was to go ahead and get the candy and stuff had turned it over to her. So she just sent me up there with the money. And I got up there and got to playing with their little boy and forgot all about the money. Forgot all about it. Went home. And nobody said anything, so I went on through the house and went out in the yard to play and got to feel around my pocket, and there's that money. What was I going to do? I was afraid, so I tried to hide it first. I put it in a little shed. And then I thought, well, Grandpa, he'll find that there. He'll open that door, and there he'll find that money. Couldn't do that. So I took it out. And I went to the toilet, and I threw it down the toilet hole.
Didn't occur to you to go ahead and take it to the lady's house?
No. I was afraid of what they'd say, you know. Didn't think that they'd be checking back on me.
What
And
did
so-
happen when they did?
So then, sure enough, in a day or two, I guess Mrs. Proctor asked Grandma Baker if she had, what had happened to that money. Or else, somewhere they got talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they jumped me right out of bed. I didn't know. I didn't know. And so they made me walk back and forth 2 or 3 times between them places to see if I could find that money. Well, I knew where the money was, but I wouldn't. I never did tell them.
You never did tell.
I
Do you have any
never-
idea about how much that money was? Could you
I had
guess
no
now?
idea.
Was it in coins or dollar bills or a little above?
I don't know.
You don't remember? Okay, let's see. Alice was your firstborn, and then about a year later,
14 months.
14 months later, you had another daughter,
Yeah.
and her name was
Wilma.
Wilma Arceo. Right. And was she as tiny as Alice?
No, she weighed about 6 pounds.
Okay. Did Grandma's babies get healthier?
Yes.
For the most part?
Yes, they seemed to. But they stayed, I think, they stayed around about 6, 7 pounds.
Yeah.
About
Yeah. Okay, Wilma was the second one, and then you had another daughter who was how much younger than Wilma?
Well, they averaged just about 2 years apart until we had 6. We had 6 children in 10 years.
Okay, after Wilma was Irma Lee,
And Carolyn.
Carolyn, I see her name was Carolyn Lynn, right? It was Carolyn May. And then came your boy, David Dale. And then Shirley Agnes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When was it that you started farming the Scroggin farm?
Well, we was married in 21. And then I worked for my stepmother 1 year. Then I rented a Dakin place 1 year. So that'd be
4, 23?
Yeah. And then I went on the Scroggin place. And I farmed down there over 20 years.
And I remember that place. I remember being there as a little girl and no electricity and the battery operated radio and the outdoor toilet with the Sears catalog. I remember some of that. I remember Aunt Lenny being married in that house.
She married Bruce Scotland.
No, Aunt Lenny when she got married. Now I don't
Oh.
remember Aunt Lee's wedding, but I remember Aunt Lenny when she married
yeah.
Bob Foley.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Then, and I remember the irons being heated on the stove for ironing, and
Well,
the wash pan out by the door where everybody would wash their hands when they
and
first came in the house.
first handy water was that I put a barrel up on a stand on the outside porch and bored a hole out, and we fill it with the hose from the windmill.
Yeah, that made it easier. Can you tell us more about what your farming was like? What were you farming? What kind of crops? You used horses
Yes,
quite a few years.
yes, for a good many years I used horses, and I used to, in order to, I got to go into Grand Island buying young horses and breaking them and then selling the older. And I had lots of success and lots of trouble too.
About keeping fresh horses, so to speak. About how many horses would you keep at a time?
Well, finally, first I just farmed 160. Then I rented 380 more. And so I had to have a double, 2 4-horse teams. So I had 1 4-horse team of horses and 1 4-horse team of mules.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we had colts, we raised little colts on and on.
Who helped you use the horses? Who helped,
Well,
did all the kids help plow and work the fields?
my kid.
Mm-hmm. You sometimes had to hire help?
Yeah, but Shirley never done too much of it. She was the youngest.
Yeah.
But they used to help plow for wheat in the fall. The older girls.
Mm-hmm. Did you sometimes hire help?
Yes. Yes. So after I got the extra land, well, one year I hired my brother Frank. And then my brother Bill, then he was younger. I didn't just hire him right out so much, but I paid him for helping me.
Mm-hmm. What kind of crops did you plant besides wheat?
Well, corn and milo at that time.
Did you keep cattle?
Yes, I always had a bunch of cattle. I fed a few out, fed a few carloads out. And my hog base at that time, when I first went in the program, was 72 head, I think.
Of hogs?
Yeah, I was allowed to raise that many.
And then you kept chickens too?
Well, yes, we had chickens and hogs, few guineas.
Few guineas. The chickens, the cattle, did you keep them for butchering so much as for milk, or just a little of both? Just for your own family private use, or did you sell much?
I fed cattle out, fed them until they got fat, a few carloads, and then we always milked 6, 8 head of cows.
Mm-hmm.
We always had our butter and meat, butchered whenever we needed it, hogs and cattle.
How did you keep the meat? Grandma can it?
No,
Or
we had a recipe. We salted it.
salted it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you had a
Cured it.
cellar. You had a cellar, didn't you? Where you kept a lot of.
Yeah, but this meat, we just kept it in the wash shed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and it kept pretty good that way.
One year we buried it in the oats bin.
Did that work?
Yes, we put it in flour sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in there, and it worked pretty good.
Okay, Grandma always had a garden. What were some of the vegetables she would plant?
Well, like lettuce and carrots, and we generally always raised our own potatoes.
Yeah.
We planted our own beans.
There were some legends about the house that you lived in. It was a pretty old house. It had been it had been a kind of a way station on the Oregon Trail or
Yeah,
something.
it had been one time they voted this whether to make the county seat there or not. It was Elkin. Elton.
Elkin?
E-L-T-O-N.
E-L-T-O-N.
Elton. And they had election where they were going to put it in. My grandfather was over here in Nelson. My grandfather on my mother's side, he was one of the county officials, and he gave a free dinner for all those that voted for Nelson, and Nelson won.
He was a real politician. Otherwise, the county seat of Nuckolls County could have been Elton.
It could have been Elton.
Right where you were living.
Yes.
There's the legend I remember being told was that when the house that you were in was a way station for the Oregon Trail,
It was.
something like that. There was a baby died there, and for years afterward they would hear the cry of a baby. Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, it just certain days my wife could hear cry, just a noise like cry of a baby. Well, we never could figure out where it came from. But finally, we had put new siding on part of the house, and when we done that stopped it. So it had been the way the wind blew the siding.
Just the way the wind was whipping around the corner.
And also, we had the upstairs was real soft wood, smooth but soft.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a dark spot in one bedroom. And they couldn't get it off because whatever it was penetrated so deep that you couldn't get it off. And they claimed.
You really don't know any details or anything more about that.
And from then on, a lot of people thought it was haunted.
It was a haunted house.
But we never. But I had my youngest brother. He kind of believed in it.
Oh,
He time or two he got really badly scared.
he really didn't like coming to visit you there.
No.
Like I said, you rented it from the Scroggins. They had the bank in Oak. Irma Lee ended up marrying one of the Scroggins,
Yes.
Bruce. But later you bought a farm.
Yes.
Who owned it before you bought it?
Pete Washington.
What year was it that you bought that farm? Was it early 50s? I remember you
Well,
moving to it.
he was married.
Mm-hmm. How big was it?
But I moved there. It was just the first, just 160, and then I rented 380 more.
Okay. How long did you farm that property?
20, a little over 23 years.
23 years?
I was
Okay.
a tenant.
Did you have it that long?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
I think he meant the Scroggin place.
I remember visiting there when Aunt Shirley was a teenager. And I remember being upset because she was going on a date one time and I couldn't go with her. And Grandma was having to console me because I couldn't go on a date with Aunt Shirley. Sounded like she was going to go have fun and I wanted to go too. I remember, but when you lived in the Scroggin place, you were still living there, weren't you, when Aunt Shirley taught, or were you at the Washington property?
Well,
Aunt Shirley taught in the country schoolhouse that was kind of across the street from the Scroggin place, otherwise known as Elton.
Corner.
What was it called? Catty Corner. Yeah.
Carlin School.
Harlan School?
Carlin.
Carlin School.
Yeah, you kids all went to Carlin. My
Yeah.
kids all went to Carlin.
Okay, I remember visiting Aunt Shirley when she was teaching there, and it was she had
Well,
like
we
6, 8
lived in
kids.
the other place then.
Right, okay. But she taught there 1 or 2 years.
2 years.
And then went on to college. At that time, a person could go to summer school about a year or so and teach
Yes. Yes.
school.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Aunt Shirley didn't go to college. She went to airline stewardess
Yeah.
school. Yeah, that's right. I need to correct that again. A person could take a state board exam and teach school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was later that,
Then she went on talking about Irma Lee.
no, Aunt Shirley.
And then she went to Kansas City and took some schooling down there.
Yeah, I remember making the trip,
Mm-hmm.
taking her down there. We went along. Anna Malie taught school too, but she didn't teach at the same one where Aunt Shirley did. Right? She taught at one. I remember being at it, but I forget where it was located. Was it Angus or something like that?
Yeah, up the Angus school.
I remember Angus having a swimming pool,
Yes.
but it was dug into the ground.
Yeah, the creek dammed up.
That's what it was. Yeah, I remember going underwater and thinking I was going to drown. I must have been 3 or 4. I remember eating red cabbage at a picnic there, and I'd never seen red cabbage before. Tell me about, okay, now, your father, some of your relatives went to the Church of the Brethren. United Brethren, I'll get it right. But Grandma Ferguson, her family went to the Church of Christ there in Russia. I'm in Ruskin.
My wife.
Yes, Gleda.
Her folks.
Yeah, Gleda and her family. Had they always gone to the Church of Christ, or what were they back in Ohio?
Well, I don't know. They were, because they both went and joined the Church of Christ when they come out here.
Mm-hmm. The Schaefers did.
Yes.
The congregation in Ruskin, about how big did it get?
Oh, I don't know. When I was there, around about 40.
That's a pretty good size, especially for a small town, hamlet. I remember the church building. It had an unusual entryway, and the door was right catty corner with the corner of the lot.
Right in the corner.
Yeah, but the building isn't there anymore.
No.
What's there now?
Resident.
Just a house. The school that Gleda went to school at is still there. That brick.
Yes, but this last year they took the high school out. They just have grade school.
It's just an elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Where do the kids go to high school now?
Well, some of them went to Davenport, some went to Dashler, and some went to Superior.
Superior. Can you tell me more about what were some of the families that went to church there in Ruskin? What were some of their names?
Well, there's the Dillons, you know, and then there's something in the paper just the other day about they lived over here towards Nora, that they used to be the regular members there at Ruskin. I'd have to ask Alice. Maybe she could tell me.
Okay, the Marr family went to...
We had one of their girls teach our school. Oh, it's Wright.
Right.
Mart Wrights.
Okay, the Marr family went to church there at Ruskin?
Yes, Jess Marr.
Jess Marr.
And Heinlein.
Mm-hmm.
And Marr and Heinlein. And Marple. One of the Marple family. And
The Thayers.
there was you see, who was
Or the McBains, maybe I should say.
yeah, the McBains. That was their home church too. It's really the reason they really broke up, because all the members moved away.
Kids left town.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of the old folks, like Mr. and Mrs. Dillon. Then, what was that there old little gossipy woman? They had a girl about the same age as Gleda. Well, we can get that out of them, I'm sure.
Yeah. But the Ruskin church, really the one that meets now in Nelson, is made up of a lot of those families. The Heinleins and the Marrs and y'all, the Fergusons, Scroggin. Of course, there's other new people, but the core is a lot of the Ruskin congregation.
Yeah, it turned out to be that way.
Right.
Edna.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Edna Marr.
She was a run game married.
I mean, Edna Heinlein.
Heinlein.
Right.
And Ethelmar and her sister-in-laws.
Mm-hmm. Right. I remember Ethel Marr taught my mother when she was little, and she taught me Bible class in Davenport. So I remember that.
Not in Denver.
Ethel Marr did.
Oh, yes, Ethel did go down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she used to teach me Bible class. You were talking about when you were a young man that used to have a lot of girlfriends. You never lacked a girlfriend.
I never liked a girl.
Like whom?
Oh, just, what do you mean?
Tell me some of their names. What were they like? Who were they?
Well, when I was just a little boy, I remember going to, with a little twin girl. They lived there in Oak. And I went up and got her one time and took her to a little kids' party. And then as I grew older, her name was King. And as I grew older then and got out to school, I always had some of the girls out to school that I thought was pretty sweet on. And I went with a girl by the name of Minnie Herman. She married Edwin Sly. And I was pretty sweet on her. Then I told you about later about the Davenport girl.
Who was that now?
Well, her last name is Brown. From Davenport, they moved within a mile of school, and they just started there in the spring. Of course, she was a new girl. So we had a little love affair.
Yeah.
And then Littrell, I used to think a lot of Grace Littrell. Oh, I don't know, every school I went to, I always had a girlfriend or two.
Always somebody new, huh? Catch your eye. You didn't lack for girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. Well, you are now 83 years old, and I'm told that your grandson, Jimmy's wife, wrote you a letter asking you some questions, and one of the questions she asked was, what was it like growing old? How would you answer that?
That I never did answer her.
Well, answer now.
And I just don't know how I would answer. Now, physically, I've been pretty bad off. But mentally, I still have good reasoning, or I think I do anyway, and enjoy my family. And wished I could do it more if I was physically able. But now I'm getting so I just barely can get around.
Do you have any regrets? Any major regrets? Or would you rather not discuss it if you do? Anything you'd like to tell them?
Well, I probably could have done different, but I thought I was doing what was right.
Mm-hmm. When did you become a Christian?
Well, I became a Christian, I suppose, when I was 20 years old.
After you met Glada?
After, yes. And after we had thought about getting married. Anyway, I was in love with her. And she belonged to Church of Christ, and I'd go over there. And Brother Lowry from Davenport was preaching there one Sunday morning. And I just decided I believed in it, and I might as well do it now. So I went forward one Sunday morning, and I was the only one. I went forward. It wasn't because a bunch of group was going or anything like that. I just done it on myself.
You were convinced you need to be baptized into Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Were you baptized in a baptistry, or was it a river? Or?
In a baptistry.
They had a baptistry.
Mm-hmm. Nebraska. But I did one time when Oak kind of had Church of Christ going in their younger years. And the baptistry one winter right in the cut a hole in the ice, and I went to it, and they just took them in and dipped them, and then them out. There's women there with quilts, and they just wrapped them up. And,
So you saw some people being baptized in really
Yeah.
cold water. I saw a person being baptized in a huge bathtub in Poland once. I myself was baptized in a lake in Kearney at Bible camp. That's the biggest part of your life, really. Would you like to talk about Uncle Dale's death? Tell us what happened.
Well, I don't really know everything about it because he was flying. He was flying the plane that crashed. And they had lit just a little while before at Mankato. It was a bad day, and they had been down to the lectureship at Abilene.
Abilene, Texas.
Yes. And they was on their way back. And he had lit because the weather was bad and had staked the plane down the way I get it. Then he called his wife. And of course she was anxious and she was looking for him to come home. And at that time when he talked to his wife, he had cleared off here. So being anxious to get back, and the other two boys also with him, you know, why they decided that he could fly back. Well, in the meantime, you know how it is in rainy season, how quick it can cloud over. Well, it clouded over. And according to the airplane rules, if I may say it, rules, he was not supposed to go up because the weather was that kind of weather. He should have stayed down. And according even to the fellow that owned the plane, I talked to him, he said he wasn't supposed to take off. And he flew against the road. And of course, then that clouded over that quick, and the accident happened.
Because they were flying lower than they thought and hit a terraced field.
Well, he hunted a place to land. He was
I see.
trying to find a place to land.
I see.
And he was kind of going by instinct. And they had a big enough place to land all right, only he didn't land the right place on it.
Hit it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you when you got the news? You at home, in the field?
No, I was hauling mail from Edgar to Bruni. And the funny part about it, I was telling everybody that my boy was coming home from Abilene that day. And so it was kind of a buster day. Well, I made my route. After I was at Edgar, I made my route and got back to Bruni. And when I went to the filling station to get filled up with the gas for the next run, there's a fella come up to me and he says, did you hear about a young fella with a plane getting an accident over by Nelson? Well, I willed. I knew his name.
Without saying a word, you knew who it had to be.
I was just sure because the way he asked me the question. And of course then somebody called me and said Bruce and Leonard was on the way to get me, to get somebody else to take my mail next day. So I did.
Let's talk about the mail route you used to carry. When did you start carrying mail? It was just while you were at the Scroggin place, wasn't it?
Well, yes, I first got into carrying mail was the second year that Alice was in high school.
How did you happen to decide to start carrying mail?
Well, that summer I'd got my hand tore up.
Okay, you got one finger cut off.
Yes, in the combine accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be a lot of work I couldn't do anymore. And so this mail out was up for bids. And so I put in my bid. And then it come down to where there was just 2 or 3 of us pretty close. And I went to this fella that had the route, and I paid him so much for time on the route, one thing and another, because I wanted to get her. And then he, being I started to hauling and had worked for him one or 2 months, that he just let me have it.
You said you had to bid for it. Was that an estimation of what it would cost you to run the route?
What I'd do it for.
Yeah, or just what kind of salary you would do it for.
Yeah.
Now this was called the Star Route.
Yeah.
Is this a separate type of company that existed from the United States Post Service, or how did that
We
work?
went into the United States Post Service, but we didn't have no insurance or anything. There was no in so long you get pension or anything like that. You just took the job.
Does anything like that exist anymore?
Yes, there's a few of them.
You're still.
I sold out to, when I got ready to quit, I sold out to Elvis Bruni.
Okay, when you first ran a route, it was from Nelson to. It was just a country route.
Yeah, Nelson Oak and Nora.
The different farmers.
No,
Just from post office to post office.
Yes, I never
Okay.
always went from post office.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Okay, it was Nelson to Oak to Nora.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go in the morning and again in the afternoon, or
Yes.
and how much time a day did that take to run that route?
Well, when we went to Nora, it took a little longer, but the Oak, I had to get the mail over to Oak, or Nelson. I had to get the mail there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have this special time, but I had to be there by a certain time in the morning to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed me to take my kids to school. And I got the mail there. And then I took it to Oak.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was free till 4 o'clock. We had to be in Oak to get the outgoing mail from Oak and bring it back to Nelson.
And then Nora got involved in there later?
No, and then in the meantime, they decided there's a guy left Nelson in the morning the same time I did, and they decided he could take care of that mail, and they eliminate me from going to Nora.
So you never did really do that.
Yeah.
How long did you do this Nelson Oak route? About how many years?
We'd have to get a pencil.
Don't figure it out, huh?
Yes, because it was Alice's second year, and I did it. We did until after Shirley graduated.
Okay. Well, it probably did 10 years anyway, because Shirley was 10 years younger than Alice, so
Well,
10, 12 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you were farming at the farm you bought, and then you decided to retire from farming, and you moved into Nelson and took a new mail route. Is that when you started the new mail route?
Yes.
After you sold the farm?
Well, after, yeah,
What did you sell the farm for? Do you remember?
yes. $7,000. And then, no,
$17,000.
$17,000, and they give $10,000 for it. And I thought I was making a good profit. But land kept going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah, sure
And the
is.
fellow that bought from me got $32,000.
Probably more than that now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the route that you took after you moved to Nelson, how did that work? It was
Well,
still called a star route?
it was still called a star route, and I had to be in the Bruning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I took it off a Lincoln truck,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a Lincoln truck come there and distributed it to two different carriers, me and another fellow. He went east and I went west. And we had to be there at 7. So then I had to stay all night there. Unless I got up real early.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stayed all night there and took the mail, and then I left Edgar in the evening, about 4 o'clock, headed back to Bruning.
In the daytime, you'd come on home to Nelson. Between the morning route and the afternoon route.
Yes, and then if I wanted to come home, had to come home,
Mm-hmm.
I could come home in the meantime. But that was 17 miles from Edgar to home, or Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that took off on your pay, and you had to drive that 17 miles down and back.
Yeah.
So the days that I didn't come. So I worked in the pool hall then from 8 to close to 4.
What kind of work did you do?
Rack, pool, table. Took in run it. I'd run it from the time I got in the morning till I quit in the evening.
Do that most of the time, or did you come to Nelson quite often? Or?
Well, a lot of times then I'd come to Nelson daytime
Where'd you stay in Bruning?
with a lady.
Now, Grandma here in Nelson ran a little gift shop
Yes,
right here at the house.
yes.
She seemed to enjoy that. She did a lot of crocheting and sold
She done lots of fancy work.
some craft work and so
Mm-hmm.
forth, and sold it. She make pretty good little business out of it?
Well, she had good little business, but then she's off Main Street. Then on Thread, there's a lady here was going to share the Thread deal with them, Porter, general
Mm-hmm.
store. But then it got so she bought her own Thread. She had that stuff on hand, but then it wasn't like being on Main Street.
Yeah, but a lot of people knew she was here. Did she make good little profit, or just enough to kind of help buy the groceries?
Oh, it did. Just kind of helped.
Yeah, but she seemed to enjoy that. If nothing else, it kept her in touch with people in town and this sort of thing. That was.
No, then she got so as went along by it. Be a lot of time she didn't sell anything,
Yeah,
and she belonged to a club or two.
kept herself plenty busy.
But it was bad. I really quit the route when she got so she felt so bad, and then I quit the route. So
Mhm.
I'd be home. Of course, and I took a job then as a janitor at the REA.
How long did you work as a janitor? Do you remember? 5, 10 years?
About 7 years.
7 years? Did you quit doing that after Grandma died? Or did you keep that job for a while?
I kept it up. Then I started failing,
Mm-hmm.
and so wound up they took me to Hastings. I'll let Alice tell you that. I didn't realize I was as bad as it was.
So what were you doing?
I was Irma Lee took me up, and
My nephew.
I just took me in the hospital. So I grabbed my suitcase, carried it up, never thought anything about it, and got up there. And as soon as I don't remember anymore whether it was a nurse or a doctor.
Nurses.
Nurse noticed that I was looking bad, so they got a doctor up there right away. You know, my heart was just barely beating, and they wondered how I carried that suitcase up there. No, I didn't know.
Didn't know you weren't supposed to be.
No, and so I was so bad that there was a class of kids there, you know, how they take them through to show different things. And they had all them kids come in there to see a man the heart was only beating 30-something times.
About how old were the kids?
Oh, they was high school kids.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was that bad. And the first thing you know, they had me in a room. They said I was in intensive care. So,
Was that when they put the pacemaker in?
yeah.
How does it work?
His heartbeat was only 37 beats a minute.
That's what he's saying. How does the pacemaker work?
Well, it worked fine. And got the second one put in. The first one, there's guaranteed 5 years. And after 3 years, that type was predicted not just good enough. It wasn't right. They had to change them. So they put in a different one. It was a 10-year guarantee. And I'm 6-7 years on that now.
Yeah, that's good. You contacted some diabetes. Yeah.
Well, yes, that was kind of really, I blame the doctor myself. He took me over after I had the pacemaker put in to check me. And he should have checked me over good enough he knew.
Oh.
But I must have went that way a year or two, didn't I?
You had to, because
Without knowing you had diabetes.
At Christmas time, I'd been down to Texas.
And Edna was here when Alice was here, and we